What's going on, you guys? How are we doing today? We are back with the last episode of the year here on Dreams Life Can Buy. My name is Darren Kriz. That is my good friend Tommy Jordan over there on the left or the right side, or just in your ear. If you guys are just listening to this, if you guys aren't watching the video podcast, I would also highly recommend you watch these on YouTube. Because, it's always good to visually, I'm a visual learner myself. It's sometimes good to visually watch them. And you can see all the funny stuff Tommy is doing on the screen right now as well. So, last podcast of the year, Tommy, how are we doing today? How was your Christmas?
It was good, man. Ho, 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 like the last episode. Remember that? Cheesy. But it was good, it's that kind of thing, when you get older, you got all these different families, and then, you have a significant other, and they got different sides of their family. So you got two parents, two different grandparents, and then all these aunts and uncles. So one day was just spent going to one grandparent's house in the morning, her parents' house, and another grandparent's house. My parents were sick, so I'm actually doing Christmas tomorrow.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, that'll be
another
fun.
Christmas? Christmas never ends around here.
Dude, never ends. So it was good. How was your Feliz Navidad? How was it?
Yeah, well, it was good seeing my family doing what we do every year. It's always good. We are grateful to have a family that is close together, and we're able to do this every year. Some people don't get to have a Christmas with their families and spent together every year, if not ever. So always got to think of that. But yeah, it was good. And now finally that's all over. I feel like December's always such a hectic month. Just so much going on. A lot of people aren't even working. There's a lot to think about because we're coming into the next year. So, psychologically, you're like, I got to refocus everything on January in 2023, but how can I when I got to buy gifts? And, it's just sometimes it gets too hectic and stressful. But finally, we're done with the Christmas wave. Just got to go into New Year. I mean, well, you got Christmas tomorrow, so you're not done. But yeah, we're getting there. We're getting to 2023, and it's an exciting time.
Yeah, and shout out to your grandma. Shout out, Grandma, that you had an epic conversation with about social media and all this.
Yes, on Christmas, I kind of explained a little bit what a podcast was to my grandma. So hopefully she subscribed. Hopefully you're watching this right here, Grammy. If you are, how you doing today? Hope it's a great day. But
that's so awesome. That was such a moment right there. I love it, bro.
But yeah, let's talk about what's going on here in social media, man. I mean, 2023, where do we feel like? I mean, we talk about this a lot, but all we do is talk about, every week things are changing so much, so drastically in the algorithms. Right now, we are just posting out repurposed content, but we're kind of feeling like the new, more new content is the way. We got to not repurpose all of our shorts. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's just pretty overwhelming when you're in the content space and things are always changing. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what 2023 brings with viewership.
Yeah, I mean, I know. So just some practical stuff that's happening right now. I know for us is, for me, Instagram, it's working really well, repurposing my short form content on Instagram on Reels. And we started getting into Facebook Reels, and that's going good. Have 72 followers and getting 500 views, 1,000 views, 2,000 views on the Facebook Reels side of things. So that's good. But man, when I put the old content back on TikTok and YouTube Shorts, it just flops. It does terrible. And that's where we're sort of, and then I will put I'll recently make a new piece of content and I'll put it up on Shorts and it'll get a few thousand views. So this is something we're sort of talking about is we really believe these next 3 to 6 months, we have this short window in time, guys, where YouTube is wide open playing field where people are just getting tens of thousands of subscribers overnight from short form content. So I think Darren and I both, our sort of game plan is stop repurposing old stuff on YouTube and just go ham, go hard with fresh new content coming January 2nd, 3rd.
Yeah, I mean, it's just now more than ever we're seeing shorts being pushed out. I mean, we talk about this a lot on this podcast, but it's just, we just have to keep reiterating it, not only to the people listening that want to be content creators, but also to ourselves, because we have to understand that it's it's not going to be like this next December. You know, we'll talk about this on this pod next December going into 2024, where we're at with content and what we think is the most beneficial thing to do in the space. But right now, it is more beneficial to make a short and post as many as we can, but also keep up the quality of the videos as well. Aside from making long form content that isn't getting the same amount of views, because we don't know what the monetization can be when it comes in February, which obviously it's always good to, because these are also businesses for us. So we have to figure out the best way to monetize, what would be more beneficial, get the most subscribers, the most views. So now more than ever, the next month, next 2 months are going to be super important to just hammer out the short form videos.
Yeah, and we go back and forth on this because I would love to, on my newer YouTube channel, with the gospel stuff, to start doing longer form content. But honestly, the time that it would take to make those videos and the time it would take away from creating these shorts, it just wouldn't be worth it. Because if you're like an OG YouTuber, you know, if you've been doing it 2-3 years on YouTube, man, you spend like a few days making a video, right? Editing and just creating your script and all that, and you put it up, and when you just start your channel, like it could take 6 months, a year to get 1,000 subscribers. And now the fact that you could post a short and just get 500 subs on a new channel, it's like I was telling Darren, I feel like things are broken. I'm like, what's going on? This is like it's pretty monumental, right, bro? This is huge. Yeah,
it is huge. And you know, this is just like even in like the conversation I was having with my grandma this weekend, it's tough to be a content creator, an entrepreneur in general, first of all, because you're never off the clock. You always, you don't have a 9 to 5 where you can clock out at 5 p.m. I mean, you do a good job of this with the work-life balance with the family, even though you're refreshing your analytics on Christmas with the fam. But you know, when you have a normal 9 to 5 job, you can clock out at 5 and then only focus on Netflix or only focus on, you know, other things you want to do. Go into a nice restaurant, doing something like that. Focus on what your plans are for the weekend. Whereas us, like as entrepreneurs, if you're doing something else, you'll feel guilty that like maybe I should be focusing on my work. Maybe I should be posting more content. Maybe I should be doing more business stuff so that I can be where I want to be in the next year, 3 years, because, you know, every day counts in this space. So that's also one hard part of it's hard to sleep at night sometimes when you're an entrepreneur because your brain is just rattling out ideas. You know, I'll roll over, I'll get my phone, and I'll write something in the notes of something that sparks interest in my head. I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. I don't want to forget that. I don't want to fall asleep. And it's just like, you know, a roller coaster of ups and downs, emotional swings, algorithms changing. There's so much going on in the space. It's a lot, and it's not for everyone. You know, a lot of people love doing the 9 to 5 and then clocking out, which definitely seems easier. And if they try the entrepreneurship journey, you know, maybe it doesn't work out, and then they go back to a 9 to 5. I've seen it happen to many people. So this is, but it's fun. You know, it's not boring. That's one thing you can say about it.
Yeah, totally. And that's the thing. I think it's like you can make it look like you're working 24/7 just with the correct planning. So like me, you know, I'm using repurposed content right now. Starting up like the gospel kind of stuff. And I'll just make sure on my phone I get 30-40 clips in. I have like 4 silent alarms, 7 a.m., 12 p.m., 3 p.m., and 7 p.m. And when that buzzes, I'll just like look down on my phone. I already have it saved as a draft. I did all that work during the day when I'm not with my family, and then no matter what I'm doing, I'll just open it up. I could be talking to the kids and just literally still engage with them and just post, put it on a story, done. And with YouTube, it schedules it, and TikTok online, you could actually schedule your posts. So Instagram is really the big one where I have to manually post. So dude, and then you're still crushing it. So, but it's fun because it never does stop, and you never know if you're going to wake up at 3 a.m. and you go to check your analytics and you see a video get like 20, 50,000, 200,000 views. So I think it'd be interesting to talk about where we're at now with our content, and to say like what our goals are for this next year. And then we could look back at this episode, and you guys could sort of see our evolution, our journey.
That's a
So
good idea.
yeah.
Yeah, this video is being posted December 29th, so it is just before the new year, and we'll it's fun to make this podcast because it will be good to see last year's episodes compared to this one. And in 2023, huge year for what we're doing in this space and content and everything. So yeah, tell us where you're at right now, Tommy. I mean, it's crazy what you've been able to do in the last 2-3 weeks with your socials. But where are we at today? And let's hear it.
So I'll say sort of it would be interesting to people to hear like where the beginning of the year started and where it ended. So beginning of my year wasn't really doing a content game sort of stopped in the sense that I just was doing it from my real estate, Palm Springs real estate channel. So I have like under 6,000 subs there. So I'll make a video every other week. And I look at that as just like something I have to do. I'm not trying to really grow that channel. I'm just keeping views up to like 5,000-10,000 views a month because I'll know I'll get clients, be able to provide for my family and just keep doing some of the more passion content creation stuff that I'm doing now. So really that's been steady. I mean, I maybe gained 500 followers, 500 subscribers in the last year on that YouTube channel, but that wasn't really a priority. But I would say, how long, Darren, since I really started getting back into, I spent this summer of 5 months creating Real Estate Creator, the course, the program, doing that entrepreneurial endeavor. So I created like 80 long form content videos, 10-minute each. But that wasn't like, that was for the course. So really,
so you had to get your course up and going throughout the whole summer, which is what that was spent on. But that's good for long term. Now that's running, which is nice. And now you can focus solely on content back into the Gospel of Tommy and everything. So, I mean, when was it? It was like September-ish, October?
Probably October. So my biggest regret, if I could tell you guys, not that I have regrets, but the biggest learning lesson is if I would have just been doing content all this year, it would be wildly different. Just everything. Like, I don't want to like exaggerate, but it really would. Like Darren knows content's king. So probably Instagram 2 months ago, or actually I could find it on my phone, but I think I've gotten, I know I looked this morning, in the last like 30 days on Instagram, I've reached 4.1 million accounts and 272,000 accounts gained. So I think if I do the previous month in November, I could sort of see. I mean, it's really cool that you have been able to get back. I mean, we understand, that's always good that every year, even if you have some failures, some ups and downs, that you learn a lot from the previous year because, like, I mean, for example, we're always changing in our businesses as entrepreneurs, as content creators. But now, at the end of 2022, we do realize and understand that if we solely focus on content creation only, if nothing else went our way except for us gaining follower, like not to like sound egotistical with gaining followers, but I mean, this is a business, so it's important to gain followers on all these platforms. And if we only focus on that in 2023, then we could venture out into do anything, everything else we'd want to do, such as your courses, real estate businesses. They would all thrive together with a personal brand following solely focused on content. Exactly. And that's what I had to realize. I had to realize that I abandoned my first love, content creation, and to come back to it, because that's what allowed us to go to France for 3 months on a mission trip while my real estate business is still closing deals and I'm not even working. Like, that allowed me to do family vlogs with my family for like 7 months and not even do real estate. It's all from content creation. So I had 17,000 followers exactly a month ago is when I started posting again, all my repurposed content. And now on Instagram, I'm sitting at almost 47,000.
Yeah, that's insane. That's huge for Instagram.
That's sort of crazy. So 30,000 followers gained in the last 30 days on Instagram.
Whoa.
So I'm at
1,000 a day.
1,000 a day, dude, just from purposing old content that was originally made on TikTok that I knew worked. And it's smart to, Darren knows, you have a Google Photos or something on your phone, and then you have a repost app where you could take all the videos, say if you make them on TikTok or if you make them on Instagram, have some kind of repost app that takes the watermark off, and then they get automatically uploaded to the cloud. So then you could post it to the other apps without the watermark. So you're not like, hurt by the algorithm for having the other competitors' apps watermark on it. And then months later, you could do what we're doing right here and reposting. So that's good. TikTok now, I haven't seen much growth from reposting this content, literally nothing. I've had a video get 100,000 views, video that gets, most of them get like under 1,000 views, versus Instagram, they're doing 1 million views, 2 million views, on average, like 20 to 100,000 views on a lot of them. That hence the big growth. So I'm at 118,000 followers on TikTok. And then YouTube, I created that new YouTube channel. Okay, the Gospel of Tommy, which I already had, but I just wasn't posting on it. Guys, I was at 80 subscribers. Now I'm at 1,743 with 317,000 views.
Oh my God.
In last month.
That's insane.
So, going for that, so then I could pass the mic off to Darren. My goal would be for the gospel one, at a minimum, I want 100,000 subscribers next year. From what I'm seeing other creators do in my niche, talking about the Bible and stuff, I've seen them get 1 million, 2 million views. Granted, these guys know what they're doing, and they're good short form content creators. That's why we're stressing it's all about short form content right now. Yeah. Because if you master that and you know your niche, you could literally, your life will change overnight. So 100,000, my goal is 1 million. 1 million on YouTube. 1 million on YouTube.
Okay, 1 million on YouTube, right? So we're saying
1 million on YouTube, 200,000 on Instagram.
And where are you at on YouTube right now?
1,743.
You hear that, guys? 1,000 to 1 million. You have to set the bar high when planning, when goal setting, because and it's not an unrealistic number either, because we see people in Tommy's niche that have done these numbers as well. So that's why you can't just say that it's a pipe dream, because other people have done it. So if they've done it, why can't we do it?
Darren made a very good point there. That is how I'm sort of planning my numbers and basing it off, not just like people like a Mr. Beast, but I'm looking at my specific niche, seeing what they're doing that's working, trying to model that and do it in my own way. And then also project my numbers and forecast them off numbers that are already like legit and like exactly, if they could do it, why can't I? So Instagram, 200,000, YouTube, 1 million goal. TikTok, I just got to get back into the TikTok love. I think once I start creating new content again for all the platforms, TikTok will show me love. So TikTok would be great having 300,000. I'm just so in love with YouTube, and I realize YouTube has always been our bread and butter. And especially because Darren and I have experience. I mean, he has like freaking 100,000 on YouTube almost. If we could like really get the content game tight for short form content, I know then once I have 1 million subs, I'll be able to make long form videos that will actually do good because we have experience on YouTube. So that's my goals, bro. And like Darren said, it's not just like a vanity metric. I mean, 1 million people, 5 million people, 5,000 people, but it's because it is like a business for us. And obviously I want to have a big impact on a lot of people's lives. And it's fun. It's fun to have this big kind of dream vision. So I'll stop there. And then after Darren says, I think it'd be very interesting after Darren says his goals, then for us to talk about our sort of strategy and what we're doing to try to hit that goal. I think that would be fun, sort of the game plan. So Darren, hit us with your beginning of your year, because I think that'd be interesting, and where you're at now. Yeah. Okay. Let's do it.
Well, first off, that was great, Tommy. I love the niche that you're in, because it's not just something that you're doing just to get views. I mean, this is what you're extremely passionate about. You went on a mission trip out of the country, not even doing any sort of content, and you were doing this before just like to spread the word. But now you have a plan in mind with a business in the back of your mind as well on what this can be in the long run, because this is what you'd be wanting to do if there was no money involved anyway. So that's why I really think this is cool. And it's going to be fun to see your journey along this way in the process
and
too.
You helped me. You actually really pushed me to keep doing this, because I sort of got short-sighted about the vision and about that I could actually make a living doing this. And I would be happier making probably 100,000 doing this than 200,000 doing real estate, because it is my passion.
Yeah.
But I think I have to remember that long-term vision and the reality of making content.
Yeah.
So yeah, Darren, let's hear it, bro.
So 2022 was an interesting year because, I mean, things have changed so much. First of all, shorts were around, but nobody really wanted to post shorts that was strictly doing long form content in January 2022. My goal, because I had these conversations with people last year before the new year, and I wanted to be at 250,000 subscribers by this time now. And as you can see, it failed. You know, you don't always reach the goals that you set for yourself, which is always good to, you know, if you're crossing the goal line, you're setting your goals too low also. But you still have to be within reason.
Yeah.
And be a little bit realistic, but also, you know, delusional optimism, I always like to say, because you have to be a little bit delusional. You have to be a little bit of a reacher, of a dreamer to get to where you see people are that you could never even fathom living the lives that they are. So it's always good to set high goals. But, you know, I was trying different things with the channel. I was doing all long form stuff, vlog style, you know, doing 2, 3 a week, and then just figuring it out. Then started a second channel, doing stuff to mainly gain clients with the vlog stuff. So, you know, I never really had a stable team around me of editors and videographers. So I went through a handful of different people. So that was it. The whole year was just a learning process with trying to find a stable team, trying to find my like niche in this niche, you know, but you know, got busy with real estate transactions all summer. So busy year in that front, but didn't really gain too much on the social media side. I would say pretty much when we both start.
Quick point to that. You're making a really good point. I forgot to mention, mind you, both of him have full-time real estate businesses with clients calling, leads coming in, having to go show homes, having to list homes. I'm really glad you said that, because that to not take away from where you're at now, which by the way is incredible what you're doing, but you're doing all that on top of having your full-time real estate business.
Right. Because even though I didn't hit the goal of 250,000 subscribers, I still had the best year of my career, like monetarily, and but you know, and like in real estate, all that stuff. But if I'm looking long term, you know, real estate, it's cool to have a few transactions here and there, but you're always kind of starting back at zero when you're going to the next transaction. You always have to find the next month's sale, you know. But in content, it's never ending. Once you get the momentum and it's going up and up, once you hit 250,000 subscribers, it's really not going to go down unless you completely quit and stop. So, you know, that was the journey. And I'm pretty sure, I think like around when we started both getting serious in this was like October, even like the last 2-3 months.
Even
truly is when 100%. That's why I started this new. And that's why it's cool to be doing this podcast and talking about this all the time, because it definitely, even our random phone calls, spark different motivation and inspiration in our mind with every time we have these talks. So, but that's why I started doing more new styled shorts with a little more personality, a little more authenticity, but showcasing different stuff. So now I have a system for what I want to be doing in the short form content game, and I see it working out pretty well in the next year. So right now on YouTube, I'm at 90,000 subscribers. I would probably say I would love to be at 200,000 by next year, you know, with doing a bunch of different, you know, forms of content, shorts, long form, kind of going in a different direction, not staying on what I've been doing in the last 3 years. Cause I'm at an interesting time right now. I'm not in I don't have a new channel like Tommy does, where he's just starting the momentum. YouTube is seeing that it's a new channel. They're pushing it to as many people as they can. Me, I've been around a little bit, and it's sort of starting to dwindle. So trying to figure out what the next step is there to get to the next tier. which is cool, which is fun. It's a challenge, but it's a good challenge. So we'll see what happens with that. And then Instagram, just barely started taking Instagram serious, but I think that's important too for connections, because that's where you can get direct messages. That's where like I get clients reach out to me through Instagram, so that's why I've started to take that more serious in the last month, because so I'm at 17,000 right now. If I could be at 100,000 by the end of the year, I'd be more than ecstatic. And then TikTok, I mean, 1 million for sure is a solid number. I think I'm at 570 something right now, and 1 million followers, double the followers. Shouldn't be too hard if I have the plan that I have in mind right now with these with the content games. So it's cool. It's a good learning year for sure. A big roller coaster for both of us. We went a lot of different directions, but all kind of fell into place, and we're back to where we know we should be in this whole game of content. I mean, we love talking about it. We love doing this. It's nothing more fun than this social media thing in this journey. So it'll definitely be cool to see when we go full circle next year as well, and see if we can hit these numbers.
Yeah. And I want to just say, like, Darren is actually really good at creating short form content. And he's not going to say his numbers, but, the numbers don't lie. I mean, literally just in like the last few weeks, he's had multiple posts get over 1 million views on TikTok. Didn't you get one on 2 million on TikTok? Like,
yeah, like 4.5 million on one, 2.6 on another. But yeah, it's like, it's tough, but you got to just do it consistently. You can't just have one video pop off and then be like, all right, it's all done. I'm good. I'm set. That's the thing about content. You're always thinking about the next one. There's never much time to stop and reevaluate, which is like, it was one thing I was actually telling someone this weekend about this content game. Patrick Bet-David, when he has Valuetainment, they have multiple millions of subscribers on the YouTube channel. He says he's been doing this for 8 to 10 years ish on YouTube, and he says there's probably been 4 times in those last 8 to 10 years where he's taken 2-3 months off, like fully from content, to just completely reevaluate what direction he wanted to go. Because when you're in the content game, you are never stopping. It's just like, once you finish one video, upload, think about the next. One video, upload, next. Like, a lot of these people never even think about what they could be doing next, what they could innovate to, which, and so it's cool that he talks about that, because he said that's always been beneficial to him, to think about what the next direction would be instead of just staying in the same linear path the whole time. Just like a guy like, I've never talked about this guy before, but Mr. Beast, he was doing 10,000. He was doing like donating to Twitch streamers, and if he only was donating to Twitch, he did like a few videos in a row just donating to Twitch streamers. And if he just stayed on that path, did like part 80 of donating to Twitch streamers, then he wouldn't be the billionaire he is today. The multi-billionaire. Some say his net worth could be like 10 billion at the moment with all his businesses combined. But if you just stayed in that niche and never innovated to all these different things that he's trying to do, then he would just be stuck down there. So you always have to figure out different directions to go with in content, and so yeah, that's kind of where I'm at here.
Yeah, no, I think it's awesome. I think like Darren and I realized in that the content game, and with the way TikTok, and especially we'll call it the mothership, YouTube, aka Google, okay? Like, I only bow down to the Lord, but I love my YouTube as well. It's like,
I mean, YouTube is Google too, so it has it all.
Google. It's like Father, Son, Holy Spirit, my family, and then YouTube's up below my family. Because the thing I love about it is like, you have a library of 10 videos, okay? 20 videos, 50 videos, 100 videos. Those videos you did a year ago, they're still getting views. And it just, your chart just goes boom, 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 boom. And you get exponential growth. It's like compound. It's like it's like just compounding. It's like money, it's like having it invested. So instead of like sales is very commission, transactions, boom, transactions, boom. Yes, you do have relationships you're building with all these people, but creating content is so crazy because the scale of like videos getting millions of views, reaching millions of people, and then it just keeps going and going and going. And it's like you could never talk to that many people in real life. And that's why I think you have people like Ed Milet getting well, he's been doing it for years, but people who are really successful in business creating podcasts and just going all in on content creation because they realize for their next business venture, maybe stuff they want to do now. I mean, having the reach that social media, it's all about attention, you know, and that's, once you have attention, the sky's the limit. And yeah, dude. So I think that's really exciting. And yeah, I think like with Darren, like it's going to happen. I mean, when he was early, and this is why I'm so excited about shorts right now. When Darren and we were very early on TikTok, not as early as we could have been, but early. Darren got like this video where he was at this like super crazy luxury home, and he stepped into this little device that added plastic on the bottom of your shoe. And I think it might have been like the Tootsie Slide song by Drake. And dude, it got 50, 80 million views. How many views?
Like 60, between 50 and 60 around there.
Dude, and he was just video after video, but there wasn't enough content on the platform for the volume of people watching videos. And there was such this like arbitrage of not enough eyeballs or too many eyeballs and not enough content that you just post content and you're just going to get crazy views. And that's how YouTube Shorts is sort of right now. But the thing about YouTube is the monetization aspect. In the long term, if you're a content creator, don't you feel, Darren, like YouTube's more the place where you're going to create a career off being a content creator? Like, you can,
I think everyone
platforms, but
I think everyone's goal, if you're in the content creation space, even if you're like a TikToker with multi-millions of followers, you're going to want to eventually get on YouTube because, I mean, that's what's paying. And that's where you can actually build a more stable personal brand and audience that like knows and likes you, that's coming back for every video. On all these other platforms that like TikTok and Instagram, you're basically just scrolling. You're not necessarily going on the app to look for a specific person or video. You're just scrolling, and if it comes up, oh cool, I remember him, I'll follow him. So maybe if I keep scrolling, I'll see another one of his videos. But so it's kind of random on those platforms. But on YouTube, you're clicking on videos from people that you already like and follow. So that's why the brand and the fan base is much more dense on YouTube.
Yeah, that's really good. I don't know if this is true, but someone was saying like 1,000 subscribers on YouTube is like having 10,000 on Instagram. So think about it. If you have, I don't know if this is true, but if you have 100,000 followers on YouTube, it's like having 1 million on Instagram. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, but the whole point was just like the power of that longer form content. Because like I watch a video of Darren's, I spend 20 minutes with him versus I watch a video on TikTok of his, it's more short. So I have that time invested with the longer form content, creating more opportunities for that creator, for merch, for anything. It's more of a relationship that's being established, I would say, on YouTube.
Yeah, and that's why everyone would like to just do long form content. That's why like everyone would like to do weekly vlogs, daily vlogs, and get millions of views, but that's just not what works, and it's not what's going to pay right now in the space. So you have to figure out where the eyeballs are, and that's for shorts right now. You know, in 2020, when I was originally doing TikTok and posting a lot on there, just figuring out that app when it was pretty new, like everyone, it was pushed out to so many people. It was a new thing. This was before Reels anywhere else, really. So that's why it was easier to get a 7-second video with 60 million views and get 100,000 followers from one video, you know? So it's, and now it is that time for shorts. So that was just, me taking advantage of an earlier time in the platform, even though I thought it was still a little late. But I mean, we all wish we could have done YouTube in 2012. It's just, I wish I would have stuck with YouTube in 2006 when I was posting videos back in the day. But you live and you learn, you make the most of the opportunities that you're in. And we see what the opportunities are in 2023. And we listen to Gary Vee too. And he tells us Facebook, so he's just started there.
Dude, it's true.
Yeah.
You got it. That's the exciting thing. That's funny. You can never be too late in the content creation game because there's always going to be opportunities on these platforms that come and go. And there's always going to be opportunity. It might not look like it, but like you could be the next Kobby Lame, like we were talking about. He does this reaction videos. Like there's always, if you look hard enough, I think really for Darren and I is like becoming a practitioner just in the last few weeks by now posting 4 times a day on 4 different platforms. I'm starting to see so much stuff, the nuances, where I'm like, okay, need to tweak this, need to tweak that, right, Darren? Like, it's like if you just stick your toe in the water, you're just, you can't really feel the water. But when you jump in all the way, like, if that water's warm or cold, and you could feel it, and you know where to swim and where to go. But if you're just putting your toe in, it's not going to happen. You got to commit.
You can't just post one. You can't just post one and then think things will happen. You really have to have a plan with it. It's just with any business, and you got to take advantage of every day as well, because there's just a short amount of time. It feels like the days fly by. Can't believe the year is actually over. But then when you look back, you think that where'd the year go? But then when you look back, you realize so much happened in the last 12 months that it's actually insane how much we went through in 2022. So yeah.
It's funny. People overestimate what they could do in a year, but underestimate what they could do in 10 years.
Yeah, and that's a great quote. I love that quote.
It's a good quote. And I think for content creation, people overestimate what they could do in a month, but underestimate what they could do in a year, and how fast growth could happen on social media and stuff. And if you're just being like, self-reflective, right? And you're just like being self-aware of what's working, what's not working for you. And if you could adjust and because dude, if I would have on Instagram, all these apps, dude, any of them, if I would have posted just 20, 50 pieces of content and stopped, none of it would have grown. But literally, like on TikTok, on Instagram, all of them, well, Instagram's different just this last go around, but the original go around on Instagram was 5 views, 10 views. This was last year when I got to the first 17,000, and then a 500 view one, and then 1,000 one, and then one got 50,000, and then the next day it was like 10,000. But if I didn't just like for 3 months just post daily, 4 times a day, I wouldn't have actually. And I think what happens with most people, I wouldn't have actually gotten to where I am now. Most people with content creation, they don't look at it like anything else in life, but it really is the same. Like learning to play tennis, basketball, learning to write, learning to do anything. It's repetition, and it could take months of doing. But I think people post just one piece of content and they expect it just to work, and you're never going to see it work if you don't do it for months.
Yeah, and it's something that I kind of tell you sometimes also, like when you think that that your TikToks are flopping, that you're shadow banned on these apps. And then you got to realize that you've only kind of been doing it for a month or two, when in reality, these are businesses. And if you're doing any other business, you have to think 2-3 years, because, just look at any normal business. They start with like a 10,000 or a loss in revenue their first year. Then they make 20, 30K their second year. Then they can maybe double it every year. And then by year 4, year 5 is when they're actually starting to see big success. And that's only with the very successful businesses. There's still a lot of companies that will fail after 5+ years or so, if they're even still in business by then. But you just always have to think long term. And that's what some people don't realize when we see all these other people getting this instant gratification of 1 million followers in a month. We think after a few weeks, I'm not getting the same attention that they're getting. I'm done. I'm going to the next thing. So you still have to. That's why it's tough this day and age to make social media, because the only people we are seeing are the people that are successful at social media. We're not seeing the hundreds of other creators in your niche, even specifically, Tommy, that are doing less views than you every day, but still posting. Because I'm sure there's a lot, but we just don't see them because they don't have a lot of views, really. So, and it's just, about long-term, staying consistent and then innovating everything that we talk about. But it's just like all the people that are in the stock market. They only post their wins. They don't post their losses. And people think that they can easily make a lot of money from that. But then when they try it, they lose some money, then they then they're back at square one. So it's just it's tough to get over the instant gratification in this day and age with social media.
Yeah, that's even like me. Like you 17,000 to 47,000 seems like overnight, but I was like doing 3 years on YouTube. I spent for like 7 months. I wasn't even really doing real estate when I was doing more of the gospel stuff. I was putting out 4 or 5 fresh pieces of content for like 6 months straight in the office, just like filming all day long, posting all day long, posting. So now I'm just taking all that stuff that I found out that worked over time as I refined it and just posting it again. So, and that's like what I've been talking to Darren, some of these big creators on YouTube that are blowing up overnight. They've already put in 2-3 years of knowing what works with short form content. And then they post it on YouTube, and it's going to work. If it already worked, most likely on TikTok and Instagram. That's the sort of cool thing. If you find a short form piece of content style that works for you on TikTok and Instagram, most likely, if you do a fresh new piece of content in a similar format for YouTube, it will work. Because, usually people are people. They're just on different platforms. You do have to contextualize things, and there might be little different nuances, but you learn principles on any of these apps that you could apply to all of them. And that's why you got to be on all of them.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's a good journey, but we're here for the ride. I mean, it's fun. It's fun stuff to be a part of.
So you want me to go or you want to go? Let's get into just bearing it all. What is your plans for content? I could go if you want to think about it first. The plans to get to that goal next year. Yeah,
you can go first.
All right. So while Darren gets it ready, my goal is, so I really love this girl named Brett, who I love my wife Samantha. But I love this style, this girl named Brett Cooper. I've been talking to Darren about her. She's like with Ben Shapiro. She's a conservative, but it's just really good videos. But I love the style. She's used shorts to get to like 1.7 million views. 1.7 million subscribers. She's getting like 50 million views a month. Okay. To get to 1.7 million subscribers this year, she literally just started her channel. Okay. I love what she's doing with reaction style videos, watching pieces of content, and then saying her views on those different pieces of content. So it's not just a reaction where you're just like laughing or you're not adding a lot of value. I love that. I love that she's like adding her ideas to it. So my goal would be, and so what I'm starting to do now is I'm looking at all the top content creators in my niche that have like had massive success with shorts and stuff and TikTok and all of them. And I'm seeing what they're doing that's working. And I'm literally watching yesterday. I think I spent like a few hours and I watched hundreds of videos, and I have a notepad on my iPhone and I wrote down every intro, every hook they did. I have a list of all the hooks they did, a list of all the outros, the call to actions they did, and I'm making a list of all of them because that's critical for short form pieces of content. The intro, the hook is everything. So I'm seeing what they're doing. I'm seeing the cadence of how many words they're saying in the first 10 seconds, the rhythm throughout the video. I'm looking at they're using green screens, they're telling stories, all the different things they're doing. You could use this in your niche. This is what you could do. So I'm taking all of that, and then I'm going to try to put my own spin on it and do my own thing with it. And so my goal really is to get to my goals. My plan is doing 3 to 4 fresh original pieces of content daily for the next year. It's a lot.
Wow.
Like Darren knows, it's a lot. So I'll be happy.
3 to 4 new videos, not missing a day.
That's what I
weekend.
Do. On weekend, I might do like 2, just because I'll be with family and stuff. But really the goal is really hitting like at least three a day, because then on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook Reels, and YouTube Shorts, I'll have 12 going out a day. And that's sexy. So that's the goal. So I'm going to do heavy experimentation with what works. And once I get that YouTube channel to 100,000 subscribers, 200, once it's getting to a point where I got a base, Then I'm going to start doing long form pieces of content where I'm reacting to things in culture and social media, content creators, just things going on in the world, and bringing like a biblical perspective in an uplifting way, and trying to bring like some truth and positivity to like a dark world. So, and bring some hope and light, but to really trend jack all the news that's going on every week, because that I already know is going to be getting a lot of views, and then slip the gospel message in there, not just create videos like who is God, who is Jesus, who is the Bible, because that's going to be a smaller niche of people doing SEO, search engine like kind of searches, just like search intent, kind of stuff in just the search bar on YouTube or Google. I want to really try to like see how I could then trend jack and do these kind of videos once I get the audience bigger. So that's really it, bro. That's really my strategy. Is just it's going to be so focused on shorts for, I think, from now to July, and then seeing where things are at, to then I could pull back and start doing longer form videos to start getting a stronger bond with the audience. And I think, honestly, dude, I have the big number goals, but I think if I'm doing 3 a day fresh, and I'm looking at everything that's working, and I'm doing my own spin on it or different things, I think I could for sure get those goals. So it's really as simple as that.
That's a good action plan for sure. I mean, you have to always have the planning in place in order to figure out how to reach those goals in the future. But yeah, I mean, also it is hard to, when you say I'm going to post 3-4 a day for the next 12 months, who knows? Things will change. Algorithms will change by April, by quarter 2. Maybe we have figured out another way to get follower. Maybe you're posting a long form video every day. So it wouldn't be too surprising if we went a completely different direction in 3-4 months, but all related to getting to these goals in content, because with the followings in content, it's going to be easier to expand on everything else we want to do outside of just having a following. But yeah, so I mean that's really cool. It's gonna be great to see all your videos coming up in the future. Yeah, for my content, I'm pretty much, it's the same kind of thing, like trend jacking. Right now, what's really popular are people going up to random people on the streets and asking, "What do you do for a living?" Shout out Daniel Mack. He has built an insane following from doing that. Also, people saying, how much do you pay for rent? How much do you make? What is your job? Like all these people like to see other people involved in the videos. So I definitely need to, first off, with my long form content, I have to figure out a way to get other characters in. I think I've only been the only person in my videos for the last 3 years, pretty much, aside from my old videographer, Raul, who was in my older videos. But now I got to figure out other characters to get involved, just like all these other bigger creators do, reach a broader audience, a broader niche, but then also use those trend jacking methods for all of the short form content. I have like 3 or 4 different little niches, if you guys want to see what they are, all involving real estate. But one, I'm interviewing an agent, going through a house. Another, I'm showing someone's apartment. Another, I'm touring the house myself. Check out my TikTok or Instagram to see all that. But I'm going to go hard on try to do 2 a day, 1 a day for sure, 2 a day if possible, because I am also doing these in the wild, out in the field. It's easier when I'm just doing talking head videos, which I'll probably still incorporate in with my second channel to get more clientele through. So that's not going to stop as well. But then try to blow up my main channel as much as possible would be a definite goal, while still consistently posting on the second channel to get some real estate clients, eventually growing a bigger team under me of more people, expanding on that team in real estate space, and having just one of the bigger audiences, one of the bigger followings in the real estate niche in general, being an agent out here in Los Angeles. And yeah, so yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to like jump the gun and say I'm going to definitely be doing that exact thing in June, because a lot can change in 6 months. Tommy, just think about where we were 6 months ago, what our conversations were about. So, but I know for the next few months, definitely this is what I'm going to be focused on, double downing on, and going hard on pretty much full time. And that's going to be interesting. A lot's already lined up for the next month. So That'll be good.
Yeah, no, I love it. And yeah, that, like Darren said, like my style doing 2, 3, 4 a day are going to be talking head. So I could
Yeah.
literally do it here in my office, and I have different styles. I could do a Bible study, I could do a prayer for people, I could do a reaction video. Like there's so many different like styles that I could do, which makes it a lot easier to do. And it's not always about output, it's just about like your niche and what people want. And like Darren's are like, man, some of his shorts, I'm like, dude, these are incredible. I'm like, dude, these should be getting so many views on Instagram because it's like, it's so sick. And I like he's been incorporating his personality by like opening fridges and seeing what's in there, or like grabbing a drink and walking away with it. Like, so yeah, dude, I love it. I think you got like an incredible plan. And I think it's true what you said. Like, I'm like, I'm committed just to doing the work and the action,
Yeah.
and the actual like tactics might change, over time with maybe doing a long form piece of content every day, maybe,
Yeah.
whatever that's like negotiable. It's more just about committing to actually like really growing it and just doing a lot of content and just sustained efforts.
Yeah, so that's going to be fun. And then one more thing: what are our goals with this podcast in 2023?
That is just so tough to say. That with everything in life, you only have so much time, right? There's only so much output you could do. And that's like Darren and I, we have big plans to get big guests and all of this, but we've been talking a lot to each other, and we're like, yeah, like for example, if I have 100,000, if he has 500,000 subscribers on YouTube, whatever, we could get a big guest a lot easier because it sort of acts as social currency. People see that, yeah, we'll come on your podcast, even if it's a few thousand subscribers, because they know you've put in the work to become a content creator. So both of us have really focused on just content creation and then in this next year, because we know if we do that, our businesses, everything around that will sort of thrive. But that's sort of like the nucleus of everything. That's like the engine. So I would love for the podcast to, I don't know, man. It's so crazy.
It's hard to put a number goal on it, a monetary goal, because, as we grow our other platforms, people will slowly start coming as they want to see more of what we do coming over to this space. But so it's tough. I mean, I think the main goal would just to be make sure we can get 52 videos out on the podcast this year, and then things will come, things will change. We'll get some guests on, some big guests, and then we'll see where we're at. But it's also just good to have this to express our ideas, to talk, also to see where we started, see where we're going to be. And it will be great to look back on these and then just build that database of this podcast talking about the creator economy, what we're doing, our goals, our future with all this too.
Yeah, I think this podcast in one way, shape, or form, and I was telling Samantha about this, it really, I think, just like makes us like, it helps us stay in the content creation game and ears to the ground and just really, I don't know, boots on the ground, ears on the ground, whatever. Just, yeah, ears on the ground, like hearing everything that's going on and forcing ourselves just to like keep going, just like not stop. Like, because every week we come back to the mics and we got to like talk about what's going on. And there's no better way. That's why Gary Vee is so awesome, because he does it. He's in the trenches. He's posting. He's reading DMs. Like, that's why he's so proficient at social media, because he doesn't just have an ad agency. And like, he's practicing, what he's teaching. So I think having this podcast really helps us practice what we teach and get into. And I think we have a lot of epiphanies on this podcast about content creation. Yeah. And I am excited for like you listening in real time, week to week. Because as I listen to Gary Vee, I get really inspired to like post content. And I wish there was more Gary Vees. I'm not saying we're like Gary Vees, but just people talking about content and like showing what's possible, learning alongside you, and you're learning, we're learning. And it's just like something that I feel like this audience, us, we could all sort of evolve and grow together. And I hope maybe just even if it's 20 people listening to this or 100, maybe we could help you. You could, I guess Darren or I could be like, we're like in your life. Like if you don't have a Darren, like now you do by listening to this. Does that make sense? Because maybe you don't have any friends who are creating content. So maybe we could be like your friends alongside this journey with you, you know?
Yeah, it's always good to have someone that you can at least hear what they're doing. If you're like thinking about creating content, but all your friends are just doing their own thing, living their own lives, working their 9 to 5s, they don't really have the drive, and they don't watch YouTube like you do listening. Like if you're listening and you only watch YouTube, I mean, that's what I was doing back in the day. And there weren't even podcasts when I was in high school, really. So I never heard anyone have conversations about anything like this. So I think that would be really cool for like a teenager or someone that would hear this, see what we're talking about, and then see if we can act on what we are talking about here next year. You know, maybe we're just, maybe we could everything by next year and we just get accounting jobs or something, but highly likely not. But you know, so that's what this podcast is for. But it's going to be fun to see along the journey for sure.
Yeah. I think my goal with this is just to keep doing it because it is something you don't see like monetary gain, and everyone knows podcasts are infamous for how difficult they are for people to keep them going because like you have to have that long-term vision. And I think something that's really cool with this is that it keeps us really talking about content, creating content, you know, and just in the trenches.
Yeah, I think it'll be cool. Also, what Gary Vee does is when he posts like a video from 5-10 years ago of something that he said in content, and then it actually came into fruition now. You know, he'll say, this is what's going to be big in 2025. And then he'll be like, watch, you'll see me post this clip that year, and then you'll see it and it'll go viral, things like that too. So that's why it's cool for us to talk about the new stuff going on in the space every week, because then maybe by next year we'll be like, remember when we were talking about shorts when they were just starting to pop off, and now it's like the only thing that there is, and now Facebook and Twitter are the same thing, or like Instagram, and it'll be interesting. Maybe there'll be another platform completely in the next year, 2 years, and it will be interesting to see how different everything is from 2022 to the future.
Totally. Yeah, because I was even thinking like the other day, I'm like, man, it makes it so easy to go just to create content every week, like seeing Darren's win, see what Darren's going through, and just having a friend, having a buddy in this. I think it's really important. And if you look at a lot of people like Eric, Mr. Beast, a lot of people, like, I think it would be great if Darren got some people on his channel with him, growing it, some other characters. You know, you gotta like, you know, it's sometimes it's nicer as entrepreneurs. You like doing things by yourself, but you get so much further with a team of people than just by yourself. So, and you know, it's not like we talk about wins on this podcast, but I have a lot of videos that might get 500 views, you know, to 250 views, like, you know, so, but honestly, like, I don't even look at them. I just like, you post enough, you're going to get the wins. And that's why content creation, this whole space is amazing, because if you keep going, you keep posting and you're learning and growing with each post, like, how could you not win? And what other like business can you do that in life, Darren, where it's free to make, you can make as many as you want, and there's no one stopping you? Like,
there's no other business and there's no other time in the history of the world aside from now that you can do that. Aside from, I mean, the marketing and the growth that people are doing. This is a year, a time in the history of the world that they'll be talking about for the next hundreds of years in history books. You know, our great-grandchildren's history books will have this era in it, in the meat of the books. You know, this is a crazy time in technology and in marketing, business, growth, everything.
For sure. Yeah, I think definitely. And that was sort of like my journey this year. It's just coming back to realize, what do I love? What do I love to talk about? What have I studied a lot about? And then, like, you know, and actually like doing what doing what I love is like talking about the Bible and stuff, and trying to like maintain that long-term vision and not just be like, okay, this isn't gonna,
Yeah.
I think we all have like Darren, like you're surrounded in Beverly Hills by these incredible homes. You love real estate. Like the sky's the limit, I think it's just cool because I think no matter where you are, where you're at, like you got something around you or you have interest or ideas and you could just start talking about it. Like it could be about so many things.
It could be about anything. It could be about things that, yeah, exactly. You can turn anything into content, anything into a business. I mean, it's such a great day and age. That's what I was also telling my grandma about back in her day, or not even like our parents' day. They were stuck with whatever job there was. They're like, oh, there's a job at the factory. All right, I'll get that job and work there for 40 years. They didn't have a choice, really, whereas now everyone has the choice to pretty much create anything they can and turn themselves into anything they can be. If you have a dream, you can... I was going to try to make it into the title of the podcast somehow. But yeah, I mean, with your dreams, you can buy anything you want in your life. And that's happiness, success, and everything in between.
Yeah. Love it, bro. Well, We'll see what 2023 brings.
Oof, that was it. Hope you guys like this podcast. Us talking about our goals pretty much, end of the year. It was fun to start this podcast off this year, and we're going to really go full force in the next year with everything we've been talking about. You guys have been hearing it. Hope you guys stick around. Hit the like button, subscribe, download it, whatever you're listening to on. And also, if you're listening on another platform, maybe just go to YouTube real quick. Hit the like button on the YouTube video also. We like to see the likes. And we'll see you guys in 2023.
See you next year.
Peace.